At 66, I still danced to my old records, wore red lipstick, and jogged each morning. I didn't feel old. Not until silence began to echo through every room in my house. My husband Matthew had long gone. My 2 children were living large in the U.S., wrapped in their busy lives. I had everything, except someone to talk to. That's when my grandson came to visit. And everything changed, not in the way you might expect, but in a way that healed me. Before I continue, I want to say a big thank you to everyone supporting this channel. Your likes, comments add value to this channel. Please do well to subscribe and hit on notifications. Thank you. We shall continue now. They say growing old is a blessing. I believe it too. But no one tells you that blessings can also come with a quiet kind of pain. The kind that creeps into your bones not from age, but from the silence that fills your home when everyone's gone. At 66, I was still strong, still graceful. My mirror told me I was aging slowly, but my heart? It was aging fast. My husband Matthew had passed away 7 years ago. We had a good life together, he was my best friend. But since he left, the house felt bigger and colder. My 2 children lived far away in the United States, married to wealthy businessmen, busy with their careers and children. I didn't blame them. Life moves on. But sometimes I wished it would stop for just a moment. Just enough for someone to ask, "How are you, Mom?" That morning I had just finished my exercise routine. I did a few stretches as I usually did every day. But I must have overdone it because my right leg started to feel sore. It was slightly swollen, and I limped a little. I sat down in the living room, rubbing it gently while the kettle boiled. I sighed more out of habit than pain. Then the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. I moved slowly, still limping, and opened the door.
Surprise, Grandma.
A young man beamed at me, holding a backpack and a small bouquet of flowers. Took me a second. "Nathan," I gasped. "Yes, it's me." I couldn't believe it. My grandson Nathan, now a tall, handsome young man of 23, was standing at my doorstep. I hadn't seen him in over 3 years. "Oh, child, look at you." I pulled him into a hug, tears filling my eyes. "Why didn't you call?" "Because I wanted to surprise you," he laughed. And surprised I was. He walked in like he had never left, setting his bag down and handing me the flowers. He looked around and smiled. "It's just the same," he said. "Yes," I nodded. "It's always been the same, only quieter." We sat down and had tea. I told him stories and he told me about school. He was studying medicine now. "I want to help people," he said, just like Grandpa used to say. The house that had once been filled with silence was suddenly full of life again. His laughter, his footsteps, his voice. I hadn't realized how much I missed it. Just the sound of another human being near me. Later that evening, I rested my leg on a cushion. It was still swollen. Nathan noticed. "Your leg, is it okay?" "Just sore from stretching." "I'm fine." But he wasn't convinced. "Let me check," he said, kneeling beside me. He gently examined my ankle and calf, pressing lightly. "You probably strained a muscle," he explained. "You should rest it and apply a warm compress." "Thank you, doctor," I joked. He smiled and continued to massage it softly. His hands were careful, respectful, thoughtful, like he really cared. "I miss this," I whispered, surprising myself. "Miss what?" "Someone being here. Caring." He looked up at me with kind eyes and said, "You're not alone, Grandma." "Ikare." My heart softened. I hadn't felt that warmth in so long. Not romantic, not strange, just the warmth of being noticed. The kind that reminded you you're still alive. We talked late into the night. He helped me to bed and made sure I was comfortable before turning off the lights. I lay awake, not from pain but from something else. Hope. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I mattered again. Not because I was useful, not because I was needed, but simply because I was loved. That was the night the silence in my heart began to break. Nathan stayed longer than I expected. What was supposed to be a one-night visit stretched into a week. Each day felt like a gift. We settled into a sweet rhythm. Morning breakfast with laughter. afternoon walks with me hobbling on one leg, and evening chats over tea. He even helped me set up a video calling app on my phone. So next time, he said, you can see me even if I'm far away. I was proud of the man he was becoming, thoughtful, kind, and intelligent. And yet I saw something else behind his smile. A little sadness. A quiet struggle he didn't talk about. On the fourth night, we sat on the balcony under the stars. The cool air brushed our faces as we wrapped ourselves in a blanket. Nathan, I said softly, what's weighing on your heart? He took a long breath. Sometimes I just feel lost. Like I'm doing everything right, school, plans, work, but I don't feel happy. I reached for his hand. You're not alone. I felt that way after your grandfather died. I had everything and nothing all at once. We sat in silence, the night pressing gently around us. I think I stayed here longer because I needed this, he said. Peace. A reminder of what matters. His words touched me deeply. All this time I thought I was the one being healed. But maybe he was too. We grew even closer over the next few days. Not just as grandmother and grandson, but as two people sharing their truths. He told me about his childhood memories of visiting our home. The smell of cinnamon buns, the garden swings, Matthew's jokes. I listened, soaking up every word like sunshine. One evening I felt a wave of emotion. It wasn't about him. It was about time, how fast it had flown. How long I had spent being strong alone. My eyes filled with tears, and before I could hide them, Nathan noticed. What's wrong, Grandma? I just wish your grandfather was here to see this, I said. To see you. To sit with us. Nathan stood and came over, wrapping his arms around me. He's with us, Grandma. In everything you've taught me. I held him close, my heart heavy but full. Later that night, he brought me a warm towel from my leg, and helped elevate it with a pillow. His kindness wasn't forced, it flowed naturally. And I realized he had become more than just my grandson. He was my companion, my listener, my helper in a time of quiet need. But part of me feared this would end. And it did, not in a sudden way, but in a gentle goodbye. On the sixth morning over breakfast he said, Grandma, I think I need to return to school. I've got exams coming. I nodded, hiding my sadness. Of course, darling. You've stayed long enough. But then he paused, his eyes serious. Can I tell you something? He asked. Anything. I almost didn't leave, he admitted. Not because I'm lazy, but because this place you reminded me of who I am. And I was afraid I'd lose that when I left. I looked at him and smiled through tears. That's the beauty of love, Nathan. It stays with you. Even when you walk away. We didn't say much after that. The house grew quiet again. But it wasn't the same silence. It was softer, like music after a song ends. He left that evening with his backpack and one last hug. Every Friday, he promised, tapping my phone. I'll call. I mean it. And just like that, he was gone. But something had shifted. Not just in him, in me too. My swollen leg was healing. But more than that, so was my heart. We didn't break any rules, not really. But we did come close to breaking something else. The wall between generations. And in doing so, we found a bond so deep it could heal wounds we never even knew we had. After Nathan left, the house returned to its usual quiet. The chair he used was empty again. The kitchen was less lively. The hallway echoed with only my footsteps. But something was different now. The silence wasn't as heavy. It no longer felt like loneliness. It felt like peace. True to his word, Nathan called every Friday evening. The first few weeks, we spoke for hours. He told me about his classes, the hospital rotations, and the pressure of upcoming exams. I listened patiently, offering advice when he asked, and sometimes even when he didn't. I wasn't just his grandmother anymore. I was his safe place. As weeks turned into months, the calls got shorter but never stopped. Sometimes 5 minutes. Sometimes 15. But every time he began with the same warm words. Hi Grandma, I miss you. And I would reply, I miss you more. My leg healed, and I started going for gentle walks again. The doctor praised me for staying active. "You're strong for your age," he said. I smiled. "It's not just exercise. It's love." There were days when I'd catch myself humming one of Matthew's old tunes, or baking cinnamon buns just in case someone visited. I kept a journal too. Not just of my thoughts but of memories I wanted Nathan to know one day. Things like how Matthew first asked me out, how we danced under the rain in our youth, and how proud I was to see my grandson become a man. One evening, nearly 2 years after Nathan's visit, the doorbell rang again. I opened it and there he stood, taller, older, but with the same bright eyes. "Grandma," he grinned. "Happy birthday." He held a cake in one hand and a small gift bag in the other. Tears filled my eyes. "You remembered? I never forget you." He came in and for the first time in years we lit birthday candles together. After cake and tea he said he wanted me to meet someone. A young woman stepped in. Beautiful, kind-eyed, and gentle in her ways. "This is Emily," he said shyly. "My fiancée." She reached for my hand and said, "It's so nice to meet you, Rachel. I've heard so much about you." That night, I sat on the porch alone after they left. The moonlight spilled across the garden Matthew once planted. I looked at the stars and whispered, "He's going to be all right." It wasn't sadness I felt, it was gratitude. Nathan had become everything a grandmother could pray for. Wise, kind, full of love. And somehow, without either of us saying it, we had saved each other. That week, I mailed him a letter, handwritten, folded neatly, with one of Matthew's pressed flowers inside. In it I wrote, "Nathan, love isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers in the quiet moments. In the helping hands, the patient hugs, the shared silences. Thank you for reminding me that even in my older years, I am still needed, still loved. You have grown into a man your grandfather would be proud of. And I am proud to be your grandmother, now and always. With love, Grandma Rachel." As I sit here today watching the birds flutter across the window, I know life still has more to teach me. But I'm not afraid anymore. Because even though people may leave, and houses may grow quiet, love has a way of staying. And sometimes when we feel forgotten, all it takes is one visit, one touch of kindness, to remind us that we still belong. Letting go of those we love is never easy. But holding on to what they gave us, the comfort, the joy, the connection, that's what keeps our hearts beating strong. So to all who may read this, call your grandparents. Visit them. Love them. Because one simple act can change everything. If you find this story interesting and relatable, subscribe and hit on notifications. Your comments and likes go a long way too. Thank you for watching.